I think I'm on. Hello, my name's Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz. Welcome to Wednesday at 1, and we are counting down to Christmas, hence Christmassy jumper without having Santa on it. So I'm going to be short, sharp, and hopefully helpful. What is it with this alliteration all the time? 5 ways to make Christmas more enjoyable. I was asked to write something for some PR thing. And I threw this together. I hope it's not boring that I'm reading it. And I hope this is helpful. So 5 ways to make Christmas more enjoyable. Christmas is meant to be a time of enjoyment, celebration, and relaxation. However, for many men and women, this couldn't be further from the truth. Pressure, men, because I work with men, pressure to get presents, dealing with chaotic families, and having to handle a host of different needs and expectations can lead to Christmas becoming miserable and a stressful affair. And you know what? I'm not sure that it's even about Christmas that much, because in the last week, I have been working so much with people with one thing, and it's just stress, it's overwhelm. How am I going to do my emails? How am I going to be on top of, so much of it is to do with computers. And then on top of that, buying the right presents, organizing the turkey, blah, blah, blah. The overwhelm. And I wonder whether Christmas is a vehicle to let this by. And there are other vehicles to let overwhelm by. I can be seduced into getting busy and relieving the panic and stress by just doing things, which doesn't necessarily deal with it in a way you could say it feeds it, unless I'm efficient and I, do it in order of whatever causes me most pressure, do that first. But sometimes it's just stop and get a different perspective. And rather than being owned by the panic and the things that are falling over that need to be done, it's like, relate to them in a different way, have a plan, be realistic. So hopefully this will help you with getting real over Christmas and not using it as a vehicle for all this stuff that so many people are carrying. So number 1, make space for yourself. Christmas with family can be chaotic, claustrophobic, and stressful. Can be, doesn't have to be. There will be a lot of noise, maybe. A lot of excitement and not much time to yourself. However, among the chaos, it's important to take a minute, breathe, and give yourself some space. If you're feeling the stress this Christmas, head out for a walk, call a friend for a chat. And I'm putting on, this is all about getting your own space. And with Christmas, with who am I supposed to be with these friends or family or church or whatever, with all of these people's expectations and the old roles, it's very easy to lose sight of who I am or who I am in my daily life rather than with these communities. So I'm putting on online men's groups, drop in. I think it's on Boxing Day at 3 and another one between Christmas and New Year. So we get a chance, any man can just drop in and you don't need to do the full 2.5 hours. Get a chance to check in with yourself, remember who you are, name what's going on, remember that it's just a phase that's going to pass, but just checking in to get some space for you. So from your center, you can extend and share the love with everyone around you. Number 2, we'll stick a link to the MenSpeak online over Christmas. Number 2, listen to everyone. Everyone has their own version of the perfect Christmas, but it's impossible to manage everyone's expectations. Can be quite impossible to just manage my own. That said, when organizing your plans over the festive period, listen to everyone's needs and be aware of your own priorities. The key is to get real by not setting yourself up for failure, by overcommitting and fantasizing that everyone is going to be able to take part in Christmas beyond the old issues. Christmas can be the time and place that the old issues go pop after a year of holding it together nicely and having boundaries and knowing who you are. It can go bang. Happens, but it doesn't have to happen. And if it does happen, it's a little phase that's going to pass. Let it come up, breathe it by, thank it. Here's my cheap line. when I get lost in my head, or other people's expectations, or my fantasies of what might kick off, or what other people think of me, or what's expected, or, all that busyness, as soon as I find myself lost in that headspace, I know that I have never thought my way through any of these things. I've never worked it out. I've never fixed it. So why bother carrying on thinking? So as soon as I catch myself there, I take a deep breath in. And as I breathe in, I think, thank you for reminding me who I used to be. Used to be puts it in the past. Used to be needing to being owned by that and needing to fix it somehow or work it out. And it's a disconnect from here, and it's up here, and then it's fears and fantasies. Nothing sorts out that way. Deep breath in. Thank you for reminding me who I used to be. Then there's space for me to take part with here and now, with what's in front of me, with who I am. And who I am is present, connected, calm. And when I breathe, I starve the chatter. If I'm not breathing, I'm feeding the chatter. So take the space. And it's really, this listen to everyone thing. Yeah, listen to it. And maybe what really helps to diffuse other people's panics and traumas and stuff, traumas needs, is to reflective listen, which is basically saying, are you saying that what you would really love to happen is tomorrow morning we get up early and we do this, this, and this, and then we're ready to do that, and then you want to do that. And the person will probably feel heard, rather than I need to keep saying it because no one's listening and that's what I want to happen. But if it's reflective listened, if you repeat it back and the person knows that he or she is heard, then the pressure's off. The pressure's off delivering the message. And then the next line could be, I'm really pleased that I know what you want. Let me see what I can do and how available I can be, because now I know what you want. I can communicate with you about what's happening or whatever it is. But it lets the person know that they are heard, and it gives you space rather than I have to fix this, or how am I going to get out of this, or this always happens, or blah, blah, blah. That's feeding the fire. That's feeding what you want to go rather than what you want to grow. I'm guessing that what you might want to grow is calm space with choice and boundaries. So reflective listening. Number 3. And number 2, listen to everyone. And that includes you. Listen to yourself, know your needs, and take care of yourself, because probably no one else will. Number 3, resist temptation. Christmas is a time of excess, and it can be easy to give into temptation and overload on things that you shouldn't. Whilst it's the season to throw yourself into the party and have some flirty, festive fun, don't overload and end up binging. You may think it'll fill an emotional hole. And very often it's like the high, if I have lots of party time, and, for some people it's like get laid or whatever, that might not fill the emotional hole. That kind of like, there is an emotional hole that needs to be taken care of for some people. And generally it needs to be filled with love rather than a fix. Anyway, distraction. You may think it'll fill an emotional hole, but it'll just leave you feeling empty, low, and wishing you knew when to stop. That emotional hole, it is love, I feel, generally. And sometimes I know that if I have that hole, and I have a need or a pain, or I miss someone, or there's something up, or I might try and fill it with food, because generally I find if I eat, then I can avoid any vulnerable, painful emotions, because the energy either goes into digestion or emotions, and very often the emotions can be distracted by mince pies. Anyway, number 4, be generous. Christmas is the time to be generous, but more with your presence than your presence. Presence as in being present rather than Christmas presents. Willingly showing up with an open heart might be worth its weight in gold to someone who rarely sees you, irrespective of how long you stay. Expensive presence takes a poor second place. If you can pay a visit, have If you can't pay a visit, how about making a call, sending a card, or sending some love online? And I know that I used to be, right, this Christmas, I'm going to give to everyone, and whoever wants to see me, whatever I'm expecting, and it just left me knackered. And then there are the Christmases where it's like, no, this Christmas, it's my Christmas, and I'm not going to see anyone or do anything that anyone else wants. This is mine. And it kind of left me a little bit guilty, I guess, at times, and disconnected from some people I would have liked a little bit of a connection with. So it's not one extreme or the other necessarily. It's boundaries. What do you want? What do other people want? Does it fit? And what are the priorities? And how can I communicate this without packing it in too much, so the space for negotiation and magic to happen? Number 5, remember who you are. It can be hard to keep track of yourself and who you are amongst the festive chaos. So many men say, I'm 50, 60, whatever it is years old. Usually it's 30s, 40s. And as soon as I go home, I turn into this rebellious little boy. And I don't know what it is, but I don't know what they do to me. I don't know. And it's like going back into the old role, getting unconscious. And suddenly it's, here I am again. So remember who you are. It can be hard to keep track of yourself and who you are amongst all the festive chaos. But if you find you're losing your sense of self, reverting to tantrum-prone child, people pleaser, or rebellious teenager, try to remember that this is just a passing phase. If you're really struggling, however, then phone a friend, seek help from a professional. I don't remember saying that. They might have added that in. But you know what? Yeah, I do get a lot more work before, during, and after Christmas, because I guess it's a bit of a stressful time, time of evaluation for quite a large number of people, time of depression, time of danger, time of vulnerability, time of taking stock. So no, that makes sense. Seek help from a professional and set something up. If you know you might go on a downer for whatever reason, then if it's not a friend, I don't know, therapist, coach, well, men's group, that's why I've put them in, so people can check in and not lose their marbles. And also check in and celebrate the goodness of it. If you're really struggling, however, then phone a friend, seek help from a professional, or sign up to a men's group where you can be yourself, no strings attached. Now, I've added a couple of others that occurred to me this morning while I was brushing my teeth. This is so important, and it's been up recently. People don't mean what they say. And it's so often that I hear people say, why did he say you've put on weight? Why is she asking if I'm dating and I'm not married yet? Why are they criticizing this choice? And then I kind of realized with a lot of people, they don't even mean what they say. A lot of people can get so panicked or overwhelmed or embarrassed or shocked being in front of another person, whether it's someone they know, someone they love, someone they're related to, a total stranger, it really doesn't matter, that something needs to come out. And what needs to come out can be quite a panic. It can be a put down. It might be the type of language they're used to in their community for whatever reason. And a lot of families and communities, it's all about put downs or taking the piss or banter or criticism or whatever it is. So rather than taking it personally or even taking it seriously, be aware that maybe something just needs to be said, and it's the first thing that went blur. So it's like, don't take it personally, and let it pass. So it might be a shock, it might be an insult, it might be a total cross of boundaries, but take a deep breath in and watch it pass, rather than taking it on and getting drained by it or getting into the drama of it or getting seduced by it. But yeah, people don't mean what they say. There's another one I think behind this is people can sometimes express relationships in quite weird ways. Some people express relationship by criticizing, by competing, by arguing, by intellectualizing, by doing all sorts of things that they don't really actually mean, but it's the only thing that they've got, by flirting, by showing off their bodies or showing off their money or showing off their, I don't know, whatever it is, their achievements, going on and on and on about a story. And if that's how they express relationship, or that's the material they've got, again, don't take it personally. It's just that's how they express relationships. And the biggest, most important one, I'm going to end on this and keep it short and sweet. The biggest, most important one with this that took me decades to get is people who express relationship through pain or through negativity or through something that's up. It's typical male to want to fix things. So I found myself taking it seriously, feeling it and thinking, man, I need to fix this. This person's in pain. It took me a long time to realize that this person is playing out the role that they play in relationship, believing who they are and believing how life will treat them. And they don't actually want anything to shift. This is just who and how they are and how they express themselves. So it's not yours to fix. Don't take it personally. Breathe, let it pass, and come hang out on MenSpeak online. One last thing to help celebrate Christmas, because all of this is about, tips to help you survive it if anything iffy is up. It might not be. So in celebration, check out, if you go to leemichaelwalton.com, check out Lee's brilliant Christmas track, Best of the Gifts. It's a duet with a father and the son. We'll stick a link on here. It's excellent. And on the day it was released, apparently it was in at number 27 in the iTunes Christmas charts, just like that. Because a lot of you I know Lee. He's done MenSpeak Radio Wednesday at 1. He's been to the men's groups, etc. And I love celebrating the successes of people that I've worked with. So here's to Lee's track, and good father, son, good men showing up and being authentic and getting real Christmases. Have a great time. And I'm going to end broadcast very quickly. How's that? I'm going to make my Wednesdays at 1 short, sharp, and useful. So over and out.